Welcome to the first in a series of mini-lectures on the topic of the rights and wrongs of punishment. When at all is it justifiable for a legal system to send people to prison, or to fine them, or to confine them to their homes, or to put them on probation, or to amputate limbs, or execute them for committing crimes? I'm going to begin this series with giving a very brief description of how somebody who follows the thought of the hugely influential 18th century Prussian philosopher and academic Immanuel Kant approaches this question. Somebody who agrees with Immanuel Kant is called a Kantian. The most important thing you need to know is that Kantians insist that you don't need to turn to religion for guidance on dealing with moral problems. You don't need to turn to a sacred text or a religious leader to be told how to act. All you need is to be able to use the same kind of reason that enables you to know that 2 + 2 = 4. So if you're expecting there to be some kind of hidden religious message in what follows, you will be disappointed. So now that I've made that clear, I think that you need to know just two things to get into the Kantian approach to punishment. The first thing that Kantians will argue is that punishment should fit the crime. Very serious crimes should be punished with equally serious punishments, and very trivial crimes should be punished with very trivial punishments. Murder should be punished with the death penalty, and theft should be punished with confiscation of what is stolen, along with some other punishment that's roughly equal to the distress that the theft inflicted on its victim. Kantians are also very keen on trying to make sure that only the guilty are punished, which is a bit more controversial than it appears to be at first glance. This may all sound rather obvious, but hang on, you need to combine this with the second thing. The second thing that the Kantian says when it comes to punishment is that the state should not use punishment as a means of reforming or rehabilitating the criminal. That's pretty straightforward in the case of the death penalty, of course. But what about lesser crimes? The Kantian believes that it's wrong for anybody, including the state, to impose their own moral code on another person. If you try to reform or rehabilitate a criminal by the use of punishment, you're trying to impose your moral code on them. No, for the Kantian, when you punish somebody, the idea is to inflict on the criminal their own moral code and nothing else. The murderer thinks it's okay to kill, so the state, by killing the murderer, merely imposes on them their own moral code. For the Kantian, everybody should be allowed to follow their own moral code as long as they're not stopping others from doing the same. People who kill and steal are stopping others from following their own moral code. They have taken to themselves the right to impose their own values on others. So, for a Kantian, if you have a country in which almost everybody follows the law because they are frightened of being punished, it's a country in which the citizens aren't actually morally good. Morally good citizens act on the basis of their belief that they are acting morally, not out of fear of punishment. They do this because simple logic tells them that to claim rights for yourself that you are not willing to grant to everybody else at the same time is illogical, just as arguing that 2 + 2 = 5 is illogical. Do you agree with the Kantian? Let me know in the comments.